What happens to us when we feel unseen, when we feel rejected for our openness, for the way we express, right? How often have you actually tried to be really vulnerable and share your deepest insights or something that you never shared with anybody? And then the reaction to that was maybe not as warm, or it didn't mirror back what you thought it would be like in your mind. It took you so much courage to stand up for yourself, to then receive something that was rather cold, or rather unseen, silenced, maybe even brushed over you. Something like, okay, next topic, not interested. So you did not feel seen in that whole vulnerability phase. What is really crucial for me here is the importance that, firstly, we want to be seen by ourselves. See, if we wait for somebody else to see us, we can wait really long. I waited my whole childhood to be seen, but I was never seen for who I am, truly, and I never showed it to anybody. I was always the happy kid, but deep inside I was really sad, and I couldn't express it because I didn't know how to name it. You see, I didn't have words. I didn't know how to express. And by the way, many men feel like that, okay? They feel that there is something going on, but they don't have words. And then finally they get to express themselves. And then it's like, oh yeah, this happened to me 110 times. And they're already over it, right? I think there are many situations that we take extremely personal, because it's our first coming out. It's our first trying to express, trying to be authentic, trying to be the real us. And then if we are not seen, or maybe it happens a lot of times, okay, and we are not seen, what do you do with that? What do you do with all those emotions that come up afterwards, with your self-worth, with your courage that you took to express all of that? How do you move forward, right? How do you do that if you try it over and over again? I have a couple of things that I really want to share with you that I think are really valuable and that you can implement easily. I also want to say what you're going to learn in this video. And I wrote this down actually because it's easier for me to have it a little bit more structured. So one of it is, what you're going to learn here is, you know, being open and being vulnerable is a gift. And even if others resist it, it doesn't value how much you put on the table. Just because somebody cannot receive it doesn't mean it has no value. It just means it was not as important for them than for you. It doesn't diminish, though, what you felt or how big that step was for you. Second, we're going to dive into is the self-worth. And, you know, it's so hard when people are really trying their best to receive some sort of value through other people. We often learned that our value depends on if other people receive us. And if we are not received, then we feel ashamed. And this little voice comes in that is nagging at us, right? And I'm like, no, that's not what we're going to do in this situation. What we're going to do is we're going to value actually what we put on the table. And we learn to sit in this discomfort that we don't need any approval. And that us sharing, or you sharing, your deepest thing that is really important for you to bring on the table has its value, regardless if anyone has any interest in hearing you. Now, I'm not saying that you should overshare, okay? That's another topic. What I'm saying is this deepest thing that wants to come out all over here. And I'm sure you have felt that, okay? There are so many people out there who I'm coaching with right now that are like, thank you so much. You brought words to how I felt for years. I couldn't name it because I didn't know what it was. But when you say it, it feels so true. And I'm so glad because I feel seen by all of this that you mentioned. I finally feel seen because you name it. Because you frame it for me so that I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. But you see, those sensations were here before me. They were here before your friend or your family member could name it. You can totally accept that and be like, I'm gonna share what I feel, and maybe the day later it will be different. It's this acceptance of, I don't need to get it straightforward. That's not how sensations work, by the way. Sometimes I'm expressing something and then the next day I'm like, oh, now I would say maybe this sentence a bit different. It's because you're processing all over the time, all the time there is something new coming up. And with that said, like, your self-worth has nothing to do with how other people react to your expression, okay? What you share deep inside of you cannot be judged, for real. It's like a judgment-free zone. Cannot be judged. There is nothing you can tell me that this thing inside of me has zero value. You cannot say a dime. You have no right to judge me for any of this. Because I feel it, I sense it, it's my expression. Shut up. That's exactly it. Okay? Now, do I say this in a business meeting? Hell no. Right? Hell no. Everything has its place, okay, my friends? So we need to be careful here, okay? When do we use what? Okay? But by the way, this is not the video where I'm like, okay, this is a business meeting and how do we interact then? Okay, I can do another one for that one. Let's go back. What else is this episode gonna help you with? Very important one. To absolutely stay sovereign and safe in your body while expressing your truth. And be like, this, my friend, is it. This is what I feel. This is my truth. And I don't care if you have to add something, if you think you need to change my words. I have friends, actually, I still have them. They would change a couple of words and then they would be like, yeah, now it fits, right? Now it's better. And I'm like, no, actually, before it was really perfect. I don't need you to interrupt me here. It's my process. I'm sharing this to you so that you can show up as what words you would use for what you feel. But I'm not interacting, or I'm not coming in place to change the words that you use for how you feel. That's absolutely no-go. If you are in an advanced state where you're like, okay, like I really want to hear, like, do you have something similar? Did you experience something like this? You know, like, can you share what you experienced? Like, how did it feel for you? Right? That really helps. If you're already feeling sovereign in your own voice and in your own center, if you're in your own center here, okay, in your power center, are you home here? If you feel at home, then you're ready to hear other people's voices about how they would maybe frame something that you just said. If you're not there, don't go there. You need to hear your own voice first to be like, yeah, now I can hear what you're saying. It doesn't feel true for me. Learn your own voice and what you sense by practicing to say it to somebody without them reflecting back, oh, but what about this? What about that? It's like, shut up. It's not your turn. It's, for me, that was very important to tell my people, to be like, I'm learning here to express myself, to really stay sovereign in my own field. I don't need anybody to tell me what I feel. It helps though. It helps to a later state to maybe frame it a bit different. But give yourself space. Give yourself space to express yourself, even if it's a mumbling or a like nonsense at all. If nobody wants to listen to that, what I can recommend is doing a voice, okay, every single morning, doing a voice recording. Record yourself and be like, okay, this is how I feel. And then start and go for like 5 minutes. This and this is in my mind, and then this, and then that. Learn to express yourself. And then re-listen to how that makes you feel. It's such a powerful exercise and so easy to do. Guys, it's not about making it complicated. It's about making your life easier. Making it easy, okay? Learning to express yourself by practicing. If you don't have somebody, or if you don't want to share some stuff because it's really personal, why don't you practice first and be like, okay, I'm going to use this voice thing. You don't need to make a video from yourself, right? It feels kind of awkward. So why don't you make a voice? Record yourself and be like, okay, this and this and this happened. And this is what I feel. And I'm just allowing it to be here. Right? So that's what you're going to learn. You already got a couple of nuggets here. So I want to dive into 5 topics now that I find very important, especially in expressing yourself and feeling unheard and unseen, okay? And starting to make baby steps. Like, go really slow. This is my aim for anybody, to go really slow by expressing themselves, by being here for themselves. Like, learn to honor that time that you put aside just for yourself and not feeling ashamed that you actually take time for yourself, you know. And this whole thing of being busy all the time, you know, even when you're at home. Are you somebody who is at home and trying to clean all the time, or cooking all the time, or you know, you always need to do something? Do you also have time when you're actually just sitting on the couch doing nothing? Funny enough, men can do this quite well. So Men have their one-way focus. Okay, they focus on one topic, which is way less overwhelming. It's like, so a wave comes along, then they have this one focus, one topic, and it's like they dig deep into this topic. So if their focus is, I want to relax, then all they think about is relax. While the woman is like, yeah, I need to pick up my child, there is some cleaning, some laundry, I need to do this for work tomorrow, then I need to talk to my partner, and then I have to do this. They make already a schedule for the next month, okay? So it's very different. So in this sense, I would say like, okay, bring more structuring, do a little bit more of the masculine to give you some holding, to give you some strength in that container to be open and vulnerable, which already brings me to the first bullet that I wrote down, which is about your openness is a strength and it's not a flaw. If it is seen by others or not doesn't matter. It's like the more you open up and being seen for who you are, like for real, not this mask thing, not this pretending thing, okay, not lying in other people's faces or in your in your face, not being real. It's like you're finally letting the inner murder die, because you start to feel more and more and more of your essence. Your essence is something untouched that has not been compromised by your past. It has not been diminished or programmed in a certain way from your environment. It just is, okay? It's just with what you came here to this earth. It's what your natural way of living will be. This is also why there is nothing really lost, okay? You didn't miss out if you haven't stepped forward yet, or it's not too late or anything like this. It's not too late, but you can obviously grieve about it, right? You can grieve that you haven't been open, that you haven't practiced your strength, that you haven't practiced to be you. There is grief for that and anger for, why did I have to show up a certain way? What the hell? To really feel that. I mean, really go there and be like, that was not okay. That was really not okay. And then be also in your voice, or maybe if you have the chance with your parents, sit down and be like, I really want to talk to you about XYZ. And I remember this time when you did, I don't know, when you said, as a child I have been like this and now I'm still like this. And you always try to say something about it that's not true or whatever, but you get brushed off, right? It's like you didn't got recognized for your own words because they were assuming that this is who you are. And it's like, no, that's not me. That's how I presented myself because I felt I could not show up different. You see, I think if you are managing to, it's not the managing in a sense of control, but if you're managing being more open and more raw and more real and more honest and more pure, especially for the feminine, right? We want to be expressive. We want to open our chest and be seen for all that beauty, for all that movement that we have inside of us, which is so much fire. I had so much fire inside of me, and there was a lot of anger, a lot of unprocessed anger, because I was not seen for who I am, and I got really, I grieved a lot, you see, and I had to learn to be more open to share that. So I had my dad sit down with me for maybe 2 years straight. And every single time he was like, oh my goodness, I have to do it again. And I was like, yeah, you have to. I don't care. You have to sit down with me again. And it helped me. It helped me to do like little sequences of that. And thanks God, he did acknowledge. He does not fully understand what I'm saying sometimes, but he does. He does see that, I changed a lot and I matured enough, and I got a lot of strength in that, in expressing myself. And now he's like, hey, that's really cool. Like, I have this and this problem. Like, how would you say that? Like, how can I be myself to say something? Because I don't feel that's nice what this person did. So you see, change is always here. It's a question, do you have the courage to move forward, to stay present in that moment? Bullet number 2. That's something I learned really big, which is you cannot control how people will react to your truth, to what you have to say, to how it hurted you, to how much grief you feel, to how much you suffered. It's very uncomfortable to hear for most of people through how much suffering you went once you open that box. And that to say, that is all honored, and it's okay. You don't need to control how they react. If they silence you, if they mask, if they put in a distance, give them time, give them space to process. And then either way you retry, if it's someone important for you, or you just let it be and be like, okay, I shared now. Let me see where this brings me. Let me see what I learned from this in a couple of months. Let me write this down so I can come back to this, but I put it on the side now. You see, really honoring that maybe the other party cannot take it like you could say it. You practice to say that, right? You had it in your mind, the way how you phrased it, you had it ready to be spoken somewhat. And they receive it, and you can't control how they receive it, in which maybe you said it really loving, maybe you said it really intentionally a certain way, and it's just like in nothing. It's not up to you, it's up to them. Your part here is to be as raw, as honest, as kind as you possibly can, without diminishing your own light. That's your job. But how they receive it, you can't control that. And you need to be so okay that you can't control that part, because you can't. You can't. And just because it's your mom or your dad and you are like, they need to understand me, why don't they see me? You can't control that. It's not up to you if they understand you. If they want to see the truth that you present, it's not up to you. And this also brings some kind of freedom, because it's like, if I'm not responsible for that, for how they receive it, and if I don't need to control it, how they receive it, I'm free in my expression. I do it in a kind way. I do it with as much heart as I can, because I don't want to hurt them, but I also don't want to live with my lights dimmed. I don't want to show up small all the time because you feel uncomfortable. while I share my heart. I don't want to do that. So I show you all that I am with the most kindness that I have, with the most compassion that I have, but not to diminish my own light. I'm not going to diminish my sovereignty so you can shine. That's not what I'm here for. That's what you need to do. But I'm not controlling how you receive my words, how you receive my expression. It's my truth, right? That's what you can do. Okay, third one. Intimacy, guys, needs two parties. Needs both sides to really to really sink in. If you are extremely open and you're extremely vulnerable, and with that I also mean like the female, right? We want to communicate our emotions, and therefore we want to be able to connect with the man or with whomever you desire. We want to connect through words, through sensations, through emotions, and through the way how you show up as a man. Can you provide us safety in those vulnerable spots? That's intimacy. It's that's what brings us closer to you. If we are not feeling that you're opening up, that you are sharing your inner world with us, we close down because we feel left out. It doesn't mean it's easy. I'm just saying this is how it works. If we are not willing to open up with our partner on this deep level, we will never receive really intimacy. We will never feel deeply connected to somebody on this level, because that's what intimacy is here for. And everybody designs or kind of sees this a little bit different, right? Some people may not want that. I know a lot of women, they really want their partner to share their emotions too and be more open, not in a whiny way, but in a sovereign way, in a way of like, hey, you really overwhelm me here. Like I'm extremely overwhelmed with the whole situation. I don't know what to do. I have no idea, and with this comes listening, okay? Men oftentimes believe that if they cannot solve the problem that a woman shares, that they are failures. Because they think that if we share something so deep, then it's on them that they solve the problem. And it used to be like this for hundreds of years, thousands of years. But it's not like that anymore. Men don't need to solve our problems. We can solve them by ourselves. See, the thing is, the listening aspect and the holding aspect, the I'm here for you, that creates intimacy. It's the I'm willing to go through fire even if it gets so uncomfortable, but my roots are strong and I'm working on myself to have this holding inside of me so that the feminine can feel nourished and can express and can explore life, right? For the men, oftentimes it's they're really happy with like this one thing. It's like this one focus, right? This one task makes them extremely happy. Like they go in, they complete that task, done, and then they feel like this accomplishment. And a woman can feel so much from like here to up here to down here. It's overwhelming. And this is why, like, when the masculine comes in and it's like, hey, I'm here, like, what do you need? It creates stability. It creates a safety spot. It creates the way yeah, it creates a safe spot for the woman to really open and share, and it's not on the man to solve her problem. She often doesn't need that at all. She has already figured it out long before you can. But what she wants is to share. She really wants to share and to connect. That's how she connects, you see. Men oftentimes connect through sex, but the thing is, having sex with a woman without this intimacy part of like being available for the deeper emotional contact, makes her not really want to open. So yeah, it's this openness that is required to really go deep into intimacy. Number 4, safety is built in yourself first, meaning waiting for other people to give you any approval and to be like, oh, you did this really well, and then you start to create safety. That's not how the body works. The body needs this safety created internally by yourself first. There is not something where you can be like, oh yeah, they can give me safety, because as soon as they are gone, then your safety's gone too. See, this is why, like, I'm an independent woman and blah blah blah. Yeah, you can be an independent woman. I love that. And it's great to have a partner who actually can do the holding a little bit for you, who can hold the structure and the how to say, like, having it laid out for you while you can explore and create that inner safety that you need for your creativity, or that you need to express yourself in a meeting, in a place where it's really important that you say those words that need to be really precise, right? It's like it creates some sort of safety in your body. The more you're practicing, the more you're speaking your voice, and the more you're going down into your roots, okay? Down into your legs, down into the earth, and be like, okay, how can I be more connected to the Mother Earth, to really be nourished by her? There is always a spot where, you know, it comes in with a combination, right? If you have a partner that's amazing, they can help you stabilize that, but maybe they're not into this work at all. So you are creating this kind of safety for yourself. And I always believe that you don't need to wait for other people to help you create this. And yet, it's a giving and the receiving, and I love that, because it's like it brings everything together, you see. I think safety needs to be also felt first in your body. When you never felt safe, for example, are you someone who is always nervous a little bit when you have a meeting, or when you know you have to actually present yourself? If that is via video, or if that is in person, or, you know, you're maybe dating and you're extremely nervous, like not feeling that much safe in your body. Now, I'm not saying that there's not like the butterfly things, you know, if you have like a little butterfly and it's kind of like making you excited, like, I don't mean that. I mean this nervousness. Sorry, I mean this nervousness where it really does shake you from deep down. It's almost like your roots are a little loose. I mean, that kind of thing. So safety, really, and we can try that right now by just closing your eyes quickly and hold your belly. I don't know if you can see it, but hold your belly and breathe into that part. Breathe into your belly, and then feel how all your awareness is dropping into your pelvic area. And with that, slowly, slowly down to the legs, down to the knee, down to your ankles, down to your feet, and into the soil. And you're making your roots go all the way down to the middle of the earth. And you can feel how they get bigger, stronger, how much connected they are to the earth, how much safety and nourishment you actually have just from the mother itself. Feel that fully in your body. And then take that energy whenever you're ready, take it back up, 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 through the feet, to your knee, to your pelvic area, and into your belly, and then into your heart. And really feel that nourishment, feel that being accepted for who you are, being honored for what you bring into this world, even if that is just existence, because for her, you existing is a gift. You existing is already all that you have to do. You see, you don't have to earn it. You don't have to earn her love. Safety oftentimes comes because we are not fully real. We are not fully showing up. We have never really learned how to be with ourselves, with all the emotions, and we felt maybe constantly on eggshells, not really pure, not really real, overseen. But when we start to really connect with her, we can see how soft she is and how much nourishment she holds for us. So try and stay here if you want. Meanwhile, we go to the next part, which is number 5, my last one. This one goes into letting go of the outcome. Okay, express yourself without having the need that I need that person to understand. Express it. Or I really want to feel them the way how I feel. Or, I once shared to a man that I loved him. And I was hoping so much that he would actually come and be like, I really love you too. And until this day, I never heard any of these words. And it's harsh when he feels the same, but you're not hearing it from that person. You're not meeting equally. You're not meeting on the same level. And being okay with you expressing and not receiving the same is really an act of honoring yourself and be like, you know what? Even if I don't get anything from you, this is still my truth. It's still true. It's still true. And because of that, I can look in the mirror and be like, I really did it. I really said it. And you know what? I'm still here. I'm still here. Even though I expressed myself so vulnerable. And trust me, it was so painful. Extremely painful. But then to stand here and be like, you really did that. Thanks God you shared all of this. Because now you have zero regret. There is nothing that I wish I didn't say back then. So I'm really honoring that kind of part where you let go of the outcome and don't expect Or, yeah, be totally detached from what they will say, how they will react. It's not on you. Again, how they react is their stuff. It's their responsibility, which also makes it cool. It's not yours. And if years later they come and are like, hey, I'm really sorry, I'm like, you really missed the party. I had a great time. You know, I'm not mad, but it's over. You see, it's over. You waited for, I don't know how many years or days, or I don't feel that anymore. You see, it was true then, but now I'm good. Now I'm just standing here honoring what I said and how much courage it took. And it doesn't need to be what I just shared with you. It can be something totally different. But it's just all about, like, if I'm so vulnerable and if I'm really telling somebody that I really love him or her, and I'm not receiving the feedback that I wish, and maybe it's something totally different, right? Maybe it's something really, I don't know. It's a total different topic. It's always about, can I share without expecting the outcome needs to be X, Y, Z? All right, with this, let's go back to the 5 ones. Okay, the first one was, your openness and your sharing is your strength. 2, you cannot control anything. You can share, but you cannot control. If they silence you, if they mask, if they distance, that's their stuff. 3, intimacy requires honesty on both sides. Meaning, showing up is something that I would strongly suggest for everybody, but not everybody is on this path. And to honor that, if that person doesn't want to, that's cool too. So be honest to yourself. How long can I be friends with this person if they don't want to do that, right? If they don't want to open up, can I still be friends with that person? How can we transform so I don't feel not overruled, but like I don't feel like I'm giving too much of myself and not receiving anything? Where do we stand? Then 4, safety is built in yourself first. Go and do that little exercise that we have done. The exercise to really connect to the Mother Earth and create stabilization and safety and structure in your body. There are other methods in how you can do that, but it's extremely important that you create this safety, especially when you feel overwhelmed. It's so crucial to go right into topics like this when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel it's too much, you feel that you're overwhelmed, and then you go right into, and I give the whole thing to the Mother Earth to help me hold it in my body. You see, the whole earth is an extension of your body, and you don't need to hold it alone. And it's so helpful to know that even though you may struggle and it may be painful, you always have the Mother who helps you to hold it, right? It's not yours alone. The pain is never yours alone. It's a shared field. and you can share it with the mother. Even if nobody else is physically here, she's here. Trust me on this, she's here. Okay, and number 5 is a letting go of the outcome, which does have a combination of number 2, you cannot control how others receive you. Letting go of the outcome, though, is about expressing without attachment, without having the need that it needs to be a certain way. Okay? With that said, happy practicing. Happy practicing in feeling seen by yourself and others, and learning your boundaries in all of these are valid, and you can't say no. You can always say no. You can always slow down. You don't have to pressure yourself. You don't have to be faster. It's okay. So give yourself the acceptance it is okay to go slow. With that said, if you like this video, subscribe, comment, give it a like, comment, and subscribe, something like that. See you in the next video. Bye bye, guys. Bye.